Welcome back to Sunrise Daily. We're joined now by Zik Zulu Okafor, who is the Director Media, Ogboru Campaign Organisation, and that's of the Labour Party. Thank you for coming on this morning.
Thank you.
Well, already commentary making the rounds about the status of your candidate, whether or not he is still the candidate or did he step down for anybody. What's going on?
I think it's just a ridiculous joke. Let me start that way. And I'll give you a simple scenario. I got one call, somebody telling me that Ogboru stepped down for Ortega in Mero. And I told him it's a simple it's a joke, and I'll give you a simple scenario. Mr. Mero contested the senatorial election just about 2 years back, two fresh people. In Delta Central, he had about 30,000 votes. Great Ogboru contested in 2011 for the governorship seat in Delta State, along with an incumbent governor. In that Delta Central, he had 300,000 votes. Now that's, it would be grossly unfair to begin to compare the two. The difference is clear. So who will step down for who? It's a joke, so it doesn't exist.
Okay, so is it also true that some members of your party decamped to the APC?
Well, you see, people are coming up with all kinds of...
that was reported in one paper this morning.
That's what I'm saying. It's a farcical comedy. People are just doing things to see how to show up the image of their candidates. How can you work? Listen, in Delta State, there's a clear wind of silent mystery blowing the place because they know that an inspirational leader is coming. In 2007, he contested in 2011 with incumbent governor. Don't forget, in the rerun election, the tribunal ruled that Ogboru won 12 out of the 25 local governments, and the governor won 13. And in the April 2011 election, after the tribunal ruled that he was defeated with 10,000 votes, an incumbent governor defeated with 10,000 votes. At the appeal court, they could not even allow the case to happen because they know that Ogboru will be declared governor. And so they use all kinds of technicalities to ensure that the 60 days available for appeal lapsed. And so his case was struck out on technical reasons. He had to go to the Supreme Court for the same reason, but the door was shut, based on the same technicalities. So it is ridiculous for anybody to begin to think that somebody moved from Labour Party to any other party in Delta State. Because you see, the election in Delta State is not even about parties. That's the hard truth. It's about personalities. And this time, Delta want a man who has a courageous courage of his professional convictions. Ogboru is the man. We need an incisive leader, one that has a crystal vision, clear to the people.
In that case, tell us then, what is your party's plan for Delta?
You see, our plans are avant-garde. Let me use the word avant-garde. Because when you come here, what you hear is about employment and this and that. We're going to do things differently. First, Delta State is in a shape that needs reconstruction. So there's a need for reconstruction of our values. To get our young people coming up, to understand that money is not an achievement but the outcome of achievement. When you understand it, you begin to lay the foundation for the people. Then secondly, we are going to focus on what you call capacity building. We need to build the capacity and capability of Delta youths. Give them profession, when you have something, then you begin to think where you can put this person. When we've done this, then we'll get to the third stage. We'll be talking about equal development of Delta local governments. How are we going to do this? We're going to make sure that in Delta State, every month, a certain equal amount of money is going to be given to each local government in Delta State. And when we do this quarterly, we are coming, and you're going to do this based on the strength of each local government. So quarterly, we have to come round to ask you here.
Based on the strength of the local government?
Yes, for instance, yes.
And then you still give equal amounts of money?
Yes. If, for instance, what there are places, for instance, where have people, Delta is an oil-producing state. So you come to, for instance, the areas that produce oil, not all parts of Delta State, come to areas that produce oil. You have to find, what can we do for these people? And I'll give you an example. You have the Nigerian content today. After the signing of Nigerian content law in 2010, you have Nigerian content. What has it done? Today, the indigenous players in the oil industry in Nigeria, things have changed. Before now, you find out that about 80% of what is done in the oil industry is done abroad. But with the Nigerian content law today, over 70% of these things are done in Nigeria.
So how are you going to take advantage of that?
Take advantage of that is that today, among the indigenous players, there's a whole lot going on, fabrication, equipment constructions, welding, and all this. Now you have to bring young Deltans to take them. You have to form a kind of partnership with these local players to train young people in Delta State, especially people from the oil-producing communities.
Okay, that plan is not going to be on a short-term basis, I imagine, because it will take a while for them to acquire that skill, and then it comes into fruition before they blossom.
No, it won't take as long as you think.
How long?
For instance, if you're going to train people for welding, it's in the oil and gas industry, you can train them in 6 months. And what you do, because it's a practical experience, and they fit into this job very easily. It's a practical experience. We're not just speaking for speaking's sake. I have been able to.
But it's not just welding.
There are a whole lot that you can do in the oil and gas. There are so many areas. You talk about welding. You talk about subsea constructions, which involve engineering and all that.
Those are the big ones.
Yeah, those are the big ones. But there are aspects of it. That's what you don't know. There are whole parts of it that you need ordinary people to do, especially the young ones who are leaving schools and so on.
You said your plan involves reorientation,
yes,
then skill acquisition,
yes,
then development,
yes.
you said. Chairman asked a question. You said you're going to be giving equal amount of money
yes,
to the local.
Yes,
is that different from their allocation?
Yes, different from the allocation. And then let me again expatiate this a little bit. You see, you've always talked about public-private partnership. That's going to be a cardinal factor when I'm talking about this, because the great Ogboru government, by the grace of God, from May 29, when it's in place in Delta State, we are going to form serious partnership with the organized private sector, and that's bringing serious blue chip companies, construction companies, to set up in Delta State, and every local government in Delta State will be a stakeholder in this. We're going to form. Yeah.
Sorry if I may come in here, but there are reports of companies leaving Delta State
yes.
to other states, neighboring states, and you say you want to bring serious blue chip companies, the ones that are there already.
Yeah.
What's happening to them?
Well, let me tell you something. When leadership is missing, everything goes wrong. But when you have a leader that you see that he has a crystal vision, is firm in purpose, is decisive in action, you will see the direction he's going. When you see the direction he's going, you'll be able to key in. If you're bringing a company and you sit down with the players in that company to discuss, and they know that where you're going is very clear, they're ready to work with you. People leave because there is no direction. I'm telling you that when we invite these people and say, Delta State, every local government is a shareholder in the company. But you see, you have to get the professionals, the owners of the company, to run this company so that it will not bring the... trying to say something.
The issues about the companies leaving have to do with communities, disagreements with the communities. Now, talk to companies like, let me get this exactly right. Companies like, what's that? Yes. Pan Ocean, for instance, relocated to Benin. That's just one company that's left. Raycon, Intel. Now, these are companies that were in Delta State that have moved, owing to disagreements with the communities. Yes. But you're going to bring them in. We're still talking about environmental degradation as a result of companies operating in the Niger Delta region. Yeah. Is this all going to be part of your plan, or has that been taken care of already?
You see exactly what I'm saying. You see, let me give an example. When Jesse Jackson, or is it Michael Jackson, when he was talking about it, he said there's a need to transform the jangling discords in our community into a harmonious symphony of brotherhood. What am I trying to say? Python is an oil company, indigenous oil company, is there in Warri. It's working a whole lot. The community, I was there. I have toured these places. They are very happy with them because there's a harmony. They come to a common table to discuss. When a proper government is in place, these discords, these acrimonies you're hearing will disappear because you need an inspirational leader to make a difference. Listen, Ogboru, and I do not say this because I want to say his
but you've cited an example of Python that is doing well
yes.
In Warri,
yes.
and your government is not even in place.
What government? No, exactly what I'm saying. I said, I just gave you an example that it's not all of them that are living. It's there and it's working and they're doing well. There's a harmony with the communities. So that's what I'm saying, that if you get an inspirational leader, a man who has a clear agenda for the state, those ones that are having issues will come to a table to discuss with him. And when they sit and they see the kind of leadership emerging in Delta State, I have no doubt in my mind that even those that have left will come back to Delta. And it will happen in our time, because Ogboru is a fetching symbol for me. And I'm not exaggerating of what leadership means. And that's all that you need in Delta. In 16 years, there have been cacophonous songs of what they are doing. For instance, we are talking about the cassava processing company in Uzere. So go there. That company shut down less than 2 weeks after it was set up.